Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing really good today, and I hope you guys are all having a really good summer so far. Today's video, we're going to talk about some foundations and tinted moisturizers. I wanted to do a video like this one for a while because I've always wanted to talk about my favorite, foundations, tinted moisturizers. These are foundations I've been using for a very long time and they work phenomenal. However, I just want to let you guys know that what works for me might not work for you. This is just based on my opinion and my skin as to how this works on my skin. I have normal skin. I used to have dry skin, so I can speak a little bit about dry skin. I've never really suffered from oily skin, maybe an oily T-zone, but my skin has been pretty normal. So these products are foundations and tinted moisturizers that have worked for me. What works for me might not work for you and vice versa, but at least you guys can get some information out there as to some of my favorite products that I'm using. I have a new tinted moisturizer that I am loving and a new foundation that I just got, and I want to talk to you guys about it, along with what I'm using to apply it and some setting powders that I'm using as well. So let's just jump right into this video. The first one I want to talk to you guys about is this tinted moisturizer. This is the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. I have been using this for years, as long as this has been out. I've been with them for 7 years now, so pretty much around that time. This is a great tinted moisturizer. This has color correcting agents, so it does color correct the skin. It also has SPF 30, which is going to give you that protection for the summertime while you're out in the sun. You can wear this to the beach, the pool, to the gym. I am a big fan of wearing tinted moisturizers like to the gym and to the pool and to the beach, as long as they have coverage and they claim to be like a tinted moisturizer, because it is a difference between that and a foundation. But this is definitely one that I used for many years. I haven't been using this lately only because I find it that if I am in like in Florida or somewhere where it's very humid, this does become a little oily on me. So that's one thing I want to mention. This is a great tinted moisturizer if you have maybe normal to dry skin, but more towards the dry, because in the heat this does get very dewy. You could try setting it with a powder and that might work out, but as far as it's concerned, it is a great tinted moisturizer. It protects you and it also color corrects. They have so many colors. Nars is one thing about Nars is they have great colors when it comes to foundations and tinted moisturizer. And you see, it's a pretty good coverage. I mean, it's enough. It's not a foundation. And it's just beautiful. The color range they have, they cater to every one of every skin type. So that's definitely been one of my favorites for so many years. Okay guys, so the next foundation I am going to talk to you guys about are still tinted moisturizer. This has been a favorite of mine as well for a very long time. I've been using this one for, I don't know how many bottles of these I have gone through. I love the Chanel Vitalumiere Aqua. It is absolutely perfect. My skin does great with it. I honestly think it could be for any skin type. I've never felt that it is based on a specific type, like, formulated for a specific type of skin. It is oil free, which I love. It's water based. The Vitalumiere is great for any skin type. It is water based, so it's kind of thin on the skin, if that makes sense. Like, it's because it's water based, it just layers on the skin nicely, like if you were applying water with a tint of color. What I find that I love about it is coverage. Again, another tinted moisturizer that gives really good coverage. It has these little beads inside that allows you to mix the product. And let me show you guys. This one might be a little too light for me lately, but I just want to show you how pretty it looks on camera. So what I'm doing is I'm just testing it out on my hand so you guys can see that, the coverage is nice. It's very light, but it color corrects. I mean, you don't really see most of the veins that I have in my hand. I like water-based tinted moisturizers because they lay better on my skin because it's thinner. It's not as heavy. It's not as creamy. I don't want my tinted moisturizer to be heavy, because that's the whole purpose of it. It's supposed to be light on the skin, perfect for the hot sunny days. By the way, the Chanel Tinted Moisturizer it's a tint. They don't call it Tinted Moisturizer, they call it like a tint parfait, because you know they're very fancy. It has SPF 15. It's ultralight skin perfecting makeup. So again, I really love this one. This was definitely a purchase I will probably do forever because I love it. I love it. It never does me wrong. This next one is the Chanel Corrective Complete Super Active CC Cream. This is a CC cream, so the coverage is a little bit better than the Aqualumiere, the Vitalumiere. I keep saying Aqualumiere. The Vitalumiere Aqua, because it's a color corrective, so it does have more coverage. It's very creamy. It's got SPF 50. This is a great one as well. In comparisons to my Nars and the Chanel one, again, this is a CC cream and the Nars has color correcting agent. I kind of like my Nars one better, but this one has a higher SPF. So if you're looking for something with a higher SPF, the Nars is 30 and this one is 50. This is also great for the summertime. If you're active, if you're outdoors, if you're, you know, pool, beach, gym, you know, anything like that that considers you to be out in the heat in the summertime. This one says that the CC cream with broad spectrum of SPF 50 that combines skin care benefits with a long wearing makeup effect for the look of a more luminous, healthy complexion. And I agree, it is a little luminous because it is creamy. The coverage is pretty good. I think the coverage is better than the Vitalumiere for sure. I actually used to wear this CC cream as my foundation, to be honest. It's a little bit heavier than both the Nars and the Vitalumiere as far as coverage and formula. It is a little bit heavier, and as you can tell, it's very luminous. This was my actual foundation for a very long time when I would go to work or go out, because the coverage is great. You're gonna get coverage that of a high-end foundation for sure with CC cream from Chanel. But overall, when it comes to coverage, this one has a better coverage than the Nars and the Vitalumiere. This next one is also another CC cream. I have been loving this. I actually just experimented with this. Your Skin But Better CC Plus Illuminating cream. For the first time this year, I bought it like a couple of months ago, right before I went to Florida, and I took it with me and I loved it. I will tell you what it's about. It's a color correcting illuminating full coverage cream plus anti-aging hydrating serum. It has SPF 50. This one's a little bit heavier. Heavy, kind of like the CC cream from Chanel as far as like formula. It is creamy and it's very luminous. If you want like a lot of luminosity, you're gonna get that with this one. I don't know how good the shade selection is. Didn't look like they had a lot of a shade selection. However, I did find my color. I was surprised. Great one. I wore it to Florida and I'm telling you, I loved it. It is very luminous, so I will say it has that, you know, sheen that gives you that luminosity. The coverage, another fabulous thing about this CC cream is that the coverage is phenomenal. I have actually been wearing this as my foundation when I go to work or, you know, go out. If I'm going out to dinner at night, this is what I'm wearing. And when I say that, I mean like full glam, like I am now to film. You know, that's something I would wear now to film because it gives you that better coverage. It gives you more coverage. I think these two right here, when it comes to coverage, you're gonna get enough coverage that you can use these two as you're, you know, going out, work, you know, having dinner out at nighttime. You want to look a little extra glam. These two can achieve that coverage that you want if you want to look all glammed up. But when it comes to something easy like myself, when I'm like running to the grocery store, running around with the kids like I do, you know, most days, I usually just wear something like this. You know, it's a little bit lighter on the skin. The next one is my last one, and not my last one. The next one is my foundation, my favorite foundation when I do videos like this or when I go to work or you know, if I'm gonna take pictures, whatever the case may be. But I want to have that real glam look, nice coverage. I can't tell you that I have found anything better than this. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. Still a big fan of it. I know some people may say it's heavy, but I think that, you know, it all depends on how you use it. I use so little of this, and I spread it out, and I make it very, you know, thin on the skin, and I just put it on like in the areas that I want to perfect. This is not heavy at all. You have to know how to use it. You know, any foundation can become heavy-handed if you put too much on, but if you put just a couple drops, this is a great foundation. They say it's more of a matte finish. I think it's more like a satin matte. I don't find it to be too matte because I have met lots of really matte foundations, and this doesn't compare to those real matte foundation. This is more like a silky matte to me. What I have been liking lately is putting a couple drops of my Sheer Glow in this foundation. Sheer Glow is a great foundation if you want, again, to glam it up, give yourself more coverage. This is a great foundation, and I think it works great on most skin. And because it says glow, doesn't mean it's gonna give you the same luminosity as this. This is less luminosity. It doesn't even have that shimmer that this has. It's just gonna give you more of a dewy effect. But I like to combine a couple drops of this in this foundation, and that's what I have on right now. That's my favorite. That's what I wear. I always go back to it. I always end up buying all these new foundations that I honestly don't like it as much as these two, the Double Wear and my Nars Sheer Glow, because it works for me. It's great on my skin, and I think the Double Wear could be a foundation that anyone can wear. I mean, unless you have really dry skin, I don't recommend it. If you know how to treat your skin, and if you know how to prepare it for foundation, you can almost get away with wearing it, almost any foundation. It just depends on how you prepare your skin. If you have dry skin and you really hydrate and use a luminous primer, something that gives you hydration, or a hydrating primer, along with your moisturizer, and you feel like your skin is really hydrated, you can definitely get away with wearing this foundation. So it just depends on how you prepare your skin. This next foundation I ended up ordering online because I kept seeing the ads on Instagram. I don't know how to pronounce it. I lied. It's Il Makiage. Here it is. It's one that's been popping up in my Instagram feed quite a lot, like lots of other makeup stuff. But this guy I completely fell for. I wanted to give it a try and give you guys a review on it. There's a couple things I want to tell you guys about this. So I went ahead and went online, and I went in to see what it's all about. It helps you match your shade perfectly. It gives you all these different brands, and it tells you, you know, the names of those colors of different brands, and that's how it helps you choose your color. For instance, I am Stromboli and Nars. It gives you MAC, it gives you all these different brands, and it tells you what colors you are from those brands. So it helps you pick your color, and at the end it picked up this color 105. Went ahead and signed up for a free sample, and at the end, of course, it was $5. Nothing in life is free. So it was $5, I figured, for shipping and handling. And when the item arrived, it came in this cute little box, and this is what was in it. I'm like, $5 for this? This is a lot. This is not a sample. So obviously this little paper was in there, and basically what it tells you is, one, make sure it matches, add 1 or 2 pumps, and you know, try it out. To try it for 14 days. If you love it, you can keep it. You'll only be charged 14 days after delivery, which means if you don't return this, you're gonna be charged $47. That's how much this foundation is, along with the $5 that you spent to have it shipped to you. So obviously I am sending this back because I am not going to pay $47 for this, because this is the greenest, grayest foundation I have ever tried in my life. First of all, it looked gray in my room here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but in my bathroom it looked green. The color was way off. I was not happy. I will say the formula is pretty decent. The formula is nice. It is a foundation. It's not a tinted moisturizer. The coverage is great, but I just wish that the color was right. If I tell you guys, I looked so gray. It looks kind of green on camera. That's not normal. The coverage is great. I don't know why they didn't nail it in the color, because the coverage is great. But I don't even think I'm willing to try another color, because if this is too gray or too green, like it's picking up on camera, then the next color up is going to be too dark, which is what happens to me all the time. So I am definitely going to return it, and I wanted you all to make sure you didn't fall for the sample. You're not getting a sample, you're getting the full size, because they're going to charge your account $47. Another thing that I thought about, that I'm like, wait a minute, if this is a sample and you return it, are they using this for another person? Like, are they using this and cleaning it up and reselling it? So I started thinking, what if this was a sample that someone tried and it was sent to me? And that right there, even if the color matched, that right there was a red flag, because somebody's tried this. You know, you can't open this. Once you open this, it's contaminated. So definitely taking that back. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay that kind of money for a foundation that makes me look green, you know. So I want to talk to you guys about products that I use, the brushes that I use to apply my tinted moisturizers. Is something that I use my hands. I really do just blend it out really nicely with my hands. I think it gives the best finish. And at the end, I just grab my beauty blender, make sure I get all the edges, make sure everything is blended away, to make sure that my tinted moisturizer looks good. But as far as my foundation goes, these are the brushes that I use. I love my IT Cosmetic dual-ended brush. This is great because you can get in the little corners, around the eyes, around the nose. This is another one that I love, the Hourglass brush. Great one to blend out your foundation. And this is one that I kind of like to use with my double wear. That's the only brush I like to use with my double wear, and then I use this brush afterwards. I just, because I mix that foundation with my Nars Sheer Glow, I use this brush to mix it, and then I apply the foundation with this brush, but then at the end I go back and I blend it away with my dual-ended brush. So those three brushes I really highly recommend. They're great. If you want a brush that is a little more affordable than these, the IT and the Hourglass brush, I love the Morphe 439 and the Morphe 444. This one's just a little more compacted, so it blends out the foundation really good. This one also blends out the foundation, but it's a lot more loose. It's not as dense, and I think you get a better coverage with this brush. This one you get a more sheared out coverage because it's so dense. It really buffs out the foundation really well on the skin. But they both give you a pretty decent coverage as far as, like, you know, affordable brushes go. And I also love this e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. This is definitely one that I like when it comes to, you know, affordable, really affordable. I think this was $5-6 maybe. Great brush also for foundation. Now as far as powders go, I don't like powder on my skin as like a heavy powder. I don't like foundation powders or anything like that. Some are good, but it's summertime. I don't want anything too heavy. To set any of these products, I only use these two because they're just setting powders that are very light. They're not heavy. The Hourglass one is the Ambient lighting powder. It has a radiant light is the color, and it's beautiful. It's just very, you know, silky, soft, luminous, and it's not heavy at all. I love this Bare Mineral one, Invisible Glow. This has a glow as well. Another powder that's very light. It's a little bit lighter in color than the Hourglass, but it's another powder that's light. These are both luminous setting powders. They're not matte. I don't like matte setting powders. I just, you know, right now at this moment, you know, definitely for the summertime, I just love the luminous, you know, a nice glow within, and those powders are great. I highly recommend it. This is my Sonia Kashuk beauty blending sponge, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a beauty blender, but, you know, sponge. I love the Sonia Kashuk sponge. One last thing before I let you guys go, I do want to try out, I'm very interested in trying out some drugstore tinted moisturizer, CC cream, or anything like that. I know I did go to the drugstore the other day because I want to also incorporate drugstore. This is, I know, a little high-end, but I love trying out drugstore products, and I'm looking for a good tinted moisturizer from the drugstore. That's what I'm looking for, with a good SPF. And as I did my research, I learned that Maybelline is coming out with one, and I went to the store. It's not out yet, but I definitely want to try it. As soon as it comes out, I'm gonna give you guys a review on it. I did try one at the store from CoverGirl, but the colors were not, see, that's the problem that drugstores have, you guys. The color was not right, and if the color's not right, I can't give you a thorough, you know, review on a product because the colors didn't match. And they had testers there. I tried it out, and the colors, it was the second to the darkest that was my shade. Literally the second to the darkest. The one next to me is for dark skin, and my shade was way too pink. That was the problem. It was just too pink, so I didn't buy it. But if you guys have any recommendations on any good tinted moisturizers, please let me know. Drop the information down in the comment area, because I'm really interested in trying drugstore tinted moisturizers with a good SPF so I can use it this summer. Other than that, that concludes this video. I hope you guys are doing good and you found this information helpful. Any questions that you guys have, feel free to let me know down below as well. And I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, share this video, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you guys for watching.